Hey, on this episode of Off the Wall, we're going to be talking about a classic thrash metal album that turns 35 this month, on August 21st to be exact. And I think it's also aged pretty well, like a fine wine, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, Sean here with Some Dude's Music Cave, and welcome back. If you're new to the channel, hey, thanks for stopping by. All right, like I said, this classic album, it turns 35 this month on August 21st. And it's this bad boy right here, Anthrax's 1990 release, Persistence of Time. What a killer album, man. I remember when this came out, it just blew me away, right? They're up until that point, they had a little bit of comedy in their lyrics, and it was comic book driven type. And this album was different, right? It was darker, heavy, and it just that really stuck out. And other things that stuck out was the production, man. It was just really tight, real heavy, and it just sounded great. Not knocking any of the prior releases, but it was just really tight. And the guitar tone, man, it was just heavy, man. That Mesa Boogie, Marshall tone, whatever amps they were using, man, it was just chugging. It was heavy. And just the riffs, man. The riffs were just Charlie was writing them, man. He was writing some killer riffs during this time. But great album, man. Hard to believe it's 35 years old, man. Like I said, I think it is aged. It is aged well, man. You can put it up there with any of the newer stuff coming out now, and I think it'll hold its own. Just a great album, and just brings back a lot of memories. Driving around, popping this in the old Kenwood stereo and jamming out, man. Just good times. But this is one of those albums, right? You can put it in, turn it on, and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about going over, especially if you're doing a tape and rewind or fast forward it, to skip song. You can let it go. I mean, there's not a bad song on this album. Side one, intro, you got Time, you got Blood, and then Keep It in the Family. Man, what a killer song, man. Just a heavy riff, and just kicks you right in the gut, right? And then In My World, man, that's another cool song. If you remember Married with Children, right? There was an episode, it was probably 91, where Kelly and Bud entered a contest. It was Have Dinner with Anthrax. Well, they won and they showed up. Well, they performed that song In My World on the show. It's funny. If you haven't seen it, man, go check it out. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. And then you got Gridlock. And inside two, you got the Intro to Reality, and then Belly of the Beast. Another heavy, just killer song. Now, I've seen Anthrax 3 times. Saw them twice with John Bush, and then I finally got to see them with Joey a couple years ago. And they played Keep It in the Family and Belly of the Beast off this album live, and it was just, man, it was killer. People went nuts, man. It was awesome. And then Got the Time, that Joe Jackson cover, man. It's just heavy. That was their actual first release, if I remember correctly. And I remember seeing it and going, man, different. But it was heavy, it was chugging. And I remember seeing an interview with Joe Jackson, or not seeing it, reading an interview with Joe Jackson. He talked about how Anthrax did it. And of course, he said his version was better. Yeah, I kind of disagree, man. It's a pretty good cover they did on it. And then Hate Red, and then One Man Stands, and Discharge. Just like I said, awesome, solid album from first song all the way to the end. And maybe I'm not looking in the right places. It just seems like this is kind of an underrated album, right? You don't see it talked about a lot. You'll see it pop up. True metalheads or true fans of, or fans of Anthrax, they'll talk about it. But it just kind of surprised me that it's I don't know, it's not up there with the Among the Living and Spreading the Disease and Fistful of Metal and all of that. Set of Euphoria was a great album, but this one, I think it just kicked its ass, man. They came out, man, all cylinders firing on this, man. I don't, just killer. And then, they were on tour with the Clash of the Titans with Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax, and then a young band called Alice in Chains opening up, man. It was just great album, great tour, and you just don't see it talked about that much. I mean, it did pretty well. It sold, greater than 500,000, so it went gold. And I think it peaked on the charts here at 24, and then I think over UK at 14, so it was really good. And so just kind of surprised me it's not talked about more. And with that being said, so with all that and such a great album, when was it? 2 years later, '92. Joey left the band, and that blew my mind, man. I mean, that was just like what, nobody could believe it. And then a year later they put out Sound of White Noise with John Bush, and it was like, okay, maybe they'll be all right. And at one point I used to think it was, John Bush was better, but man, I don't know. I mean, not knocking John Bush and what they did, with Sound of White Noise, Stomp 442. I mean, great albums, but man, you go back and listen to earlier stuff, especially this one, man, just killer, good stuff. And once again, it's hard to believe it's 35 years old, and but like I said, I think it will. You put it next to anything, man. It holds its own. Just a great album, great songs, man. That's it, man. That's this episode of Off the Wall. And let me know what y'all think, man. Put your comments down there. Let me know what songs your favorites. Let me know if you like the album or if you don't like the album. And like I said, leave comments, man. I enjoy reading them. I enjoy replying to them. So, as always, thanks for stopping by. And until next time, y'all take care.